Hi everybody, my name is Andrea of Makadrez.com. Today I am sitting here with Autumn Myers.
Hey, how we doing?
I'm good, how are you?
Good.
Autumn Myers is the media correspondent of the amazing American brand, yes, American brand name.
Yes.
America Hates Us.
Yeah, Brooklyn born.
Brooklyn born, correction. And like I said, America Hates Us. That's the name of the brand. You heard it right. So Autumn, how are you?
I'm good today. Just another busy day in New York City. You know, city never sleeps.
Of course. So what have been going on? Because last time I saw you was at that women's event you guys had. I believe it was in July, correct? No, August.
August. It was
no, July. The last weekend
July.
in July it was.
It was the Women of Color event that we had. So yeah, we had a really great event at this place in Brooklyn where we sat there and we had a collective of different women. So we had some in media, we had some in beauty, cosmetology, we had some that were poets and writers, restaurant entrepreneurs, really great dynamic of women, all sharing key advice on just going through the struggle, especially being a woman of color in different industries where there isn't really a platform for us to really thrive. You know, these industries that these women are in, it's always been seen as like the white male has always thrived in success, or even the white women, and that's no shame or slander to them, but it's just the truth. So to see all of them come together and share enlightening tips and advice for everyone, it was a really beautiful experience, and glad to be a part of that.
Beautiful. So this shirt that we both are wearing, yes, named We Believe. This is one of your forefront movements that you have of the America Hates Us company. So what is the movement, the mission behind the Women Believe movement?
So the Believe Women movement.
Believe women. I'm saying women believe backwards. Believe women. Believe women.
It's okay. The Believe Women movement comes from just wanting to voice on different issues happening. You know, it started with sexual harassment cases and Harvey Weinstein, the Bill Cosby, and everyday women who struggle to have their voices heard. Tarana Burke and her movement of the Me Too movement kind of created that conversation and that stir. And this just is something where we say, you know what, a lot of people are still doubting women. They're still doubting that none of these things are happening to them. None of this oppression happens to women. They're just making it up. So how about this? How about we believe women when they're telling us what happened to them in their experience? I had an experience where I was working with this company after school program for kids, you know, where he had texted me after hours, and it was a little strange. You know what I mean? I'm just like, what is this? Why are you reaching out to me outside of work? Did I do something wrong? Did I drop the kid off at the wrong house? You know, you're worried.
Right, of course.
But he then starts sending me praises about how great I've been doing on the team and how great I've been as a person. And I'm like, okay, great. This is cool. What do you want? You know, you felt that energy, like he wants something. Oh, I think you'll be valuable here. I want to get you a raise, but you know, I just been so lonely. Is it possible to send some pictures or something? I think you're just so pretty. And I immediately freaked the whole F out. I was like, whoa. You know, you're like, what? Okay, so I didn't say anything. I left it ignored. I was too freaked out because we're always thinking, what are we gonna do in these situations, right? You need the job, and this is what's coming with the job.
Right.
So
it's like, is it really that necessary?
And so I went into work the next day, and then the other boss was like, hey, Autumn, you know, we're gonna put your bus route with this person. And I was like, no, I'd rather not. You know, I want to do my bus route with this person, you know. So we always have to have some type of supervisor on our bus routes with the kids. So he was like, okay, sure. And then later that night, I get another text like, hey, Autumn, you know, I hope I didn't like weird you out. I just really think you're beautiful, and I could see myself being with somebody like you. And this, mind you, this man is married with 2 kids. You know,
that is wild.
So I'm like, obviously he didn't learn from me ignoring him. So I was like, you know what? I don't want any trouble. I don't think this is appropriate. Please leave me alone. Right? And then it continued until I actually had to snap on him. I snapped and I said, first off, I don't know who you think you're dealing with. I've told you more than once, and I told you politely to please leave me alone, and I expect you to do that. Please have some respect for your wife and for me I was 22 at the time, like as a 22-year-old girl, and you're 40-something years old. And
disgusting.
It was. Disgusting. And I had to go and tell the...
Was this while you were here or in New York?
It was in New York.
In Vegas?
In New York.
New York? Okay.
Yeah. So then I go tell the supervisor what happened. I show him the thread text messages. He's like, oh, we'll have a talk with him. That was it. They had a talk with him. And then come to find out, I was like really stressed out. And one of the ladies was like, hey, Autumn, what's going on? And she was like, one of the older ladies, she was like, he did that to me too. And nothing was done. And I'm not gonna throw the company's name out there or anything like that, but it's just, those experiences are exactly why women sometimes feel very uncomfortable with male supervisors or different things happening, or afraid to speak up. Because we do speak up, and that's what you're doing. You're gonna have a talk. Like he's like, oh, like he's like, he did poorly on the team, so I'm gonna sit him on the bench. He still got to keep his job. He still was working with other women, and he's working with underage girls on top of it. Who knows what could be going on? So it was just very frustrating, and just to sit there and have to experience that and feel like, did I do something wrong? Should I have said something? And eventually,
but you know what? That says a lot about the company itself.
Yeah.
Because as far as I'm pretty sure, higher ups know. Because regardless of within a company, when people talk, somehow it always gets to higher ups. Rather they want to say they heard, rather they say they didn't hear, they heard what goes on. So they know, especially something like that. He's harassing more than one female, one woman that works within the company. They know, and because they're trying to they choose to keep their mouth shut, it has something to do with the culture. Exactly.
And it was a small after-school program business that this man and his wife had started. And to be at it and sit there and say, this is how you handle situations. There's no proper HR team. Mind you, it's like a small team. I eventually left and I found a better job. And I just never looked back, and I never really said anything. So actually now, so yeah.
Well, I'm sorry that you had to go through that.
No, that's fine. I learned, I grow. Now I know anytime something like that happens, don't let it slide. You know, speak up as soon as it happens. You know, your dignity and your respect and your well-being, your mental health. When I say that I was afraid and in fear working around this man, I was afraid. I was like, why is he watching me? Do I feel like he's watching me?
It does. It
feels very predatory. Yeah. You know?
In fact, I never really understood this. Like, when a guy would stare at you, certain stares that they do give you is kind of like, what's going on?
Yeah.
Like, am I something's wrong with me? It just makes you feel uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And something within them, it's like they don't stop and they think like, oh, she's interested. No, she's not interested. She's uncomfortable.
Exactly.
What is America Hates Us doing to put this movement on the forefront for people to know, help women speak out, to give them that voice that they need to tell their story, let them know not to be afraid in situations like that? What is the movement doing, America Hates Us?
So right now with the movement, we're having opportunities to work with different people in the media industry or out of the media industry, and politics, or just social justice warriors. I would say we're reaching out to different people and letting them know, hey, this is what we stand for. We're here kind of to expose ourselves as more like an ally to everything happening. We're organizing the events, after school programs. It's not just, you know, you're purchasing a shirt, you're also giving back to the community. I've actually helped put together a NYU pop-up shop. So we teamed up. Thank you. We teamed up with an on-campus group who is advocates for Planned Parenthood. And with the pop-up shop, we were there just advocating also what we do, and we give back 20% of our proceeds to Planned Parenthood from every, you know, sale and everything that happens. So it's something where you're investing in a brand that's investing in its community and what we're standing for.
That's amazing. That's really, really good. So how long has the company been around?
2016.
2016. Nice.
And we've had a couple of designs before the Believe Women. We had Free Palestine and Hebrew, because they had the war and everything going on there. We had Sugar Kills. We have the Power Girl hat. We have now the new addition to the family, Blue Lives Murder. We all know what's going on with the police brutality and the non-indictments that are happening from Tamir Rice to Freddie Gray. Let's just put that out there. And just other things as well. So other movements that we are creating with our shirts and conversations are picking up.
Like the Blue Lives Murder t-shirt. Something like that. Once you see it, it sparks a reaction and it sparks a conversation.
Yeah.
So what thought process do you guys have when you're creating these slogans, these putting these slogans together that you have on your shirt?
Brandon and Tarek, they come up with the brand's identity because they look at what's happening in the news, they look at what people are talking about, they look at, you know, how can we be a part of this movement without causing too much commotion but still causing a conversation at the same time. So they are both the head brains of everything. You know, they came up with the Believe Woman slogan, and that was just something that they didn't expect to explode, and exploded the way it did, because again, like, they had prior shirts and merchandise that they had, like a Make America Hate Again, that came out after the Trump election, because his slogan was Make America Great Again, but then we saw how much hate and controversy he was stirring within the nation. So why not flip it and say Make America Hate Again? So that's where that one came from. Sugar Kills, that one they did heavy research where they talked about the sugar industry in the 60s was paying off doctors to say carbs and fats were their main killers instead of sugar. And Free Palestine, that was going on because there was a war happening. I'm not familiar too much with the history, but the war happening in Gaza.
The Palestine between
it's still going. Israel and
Palestine.
Yeah. Over the worship of Gaza, I believe.
That maybe started from there, because I don't know where it started from, but I know right now it's over territory. Yeah, because that's something that they were wanted to put out there too. So everything comes from what's happening, and that's not spoken too heavily about in you know, today's times, because again, the media likes to manipulate what happens. So this is their way of being the media, in a sense, like promoting the messages that aren't being promoted in everyday news and life. So how did you come together with the America Hates Us
brand?
The brand.
So it started off, I run a website that empowers women of color called the Queen Sessions.
Oh, nice.
Thank you. And so I was talking to Tarek because I saw the Believe Woman shirt on Scotty Beam. And I was like, yo, this is dope. I want to meet the person who creates this. I'm a victim of sexual harassment and of sexual abuse. So I felt very strongly connected to it. You know what I mean? And so I sat there and I met with him, and we just like vibed. It was really dope. He was very wise. It felt mentor. Like he was my mentor in a sense, you know? I just moved to New York. I was having a hard time trying to like navigate through who's really here for you and who's here for an opportunity type of vibe. But it was really great because it felt like a mentorship in a sense. And then when I volunteered with the Wrinkle in Time that we did in February, and I got to meet more of the team. Like Amanda, she's so dope. She's like the queen of the team. You know, she organized the panel. She had everything set in stone. And then Danielle, she's another sweetheart. You know, Brandon, he's super dope. So meeting all these people and feeling like, okay, this makes sense. Because I've been doing other things and like media or just other jobs and trying to figure out what makes sense for me to do. And this felt really great for me to be a part of it. You know, I am passionate about pushing for different movements, social justice warrior in my own way. I have my own blog where I write about women of color. I feel like that was instilled in me to really push.
Queen Sessions?
The Queen Sessions.
So what is Queen Sessions about?
The Queen Sessions?
That's an interesting name. What is that about?
Well, the Queen Sessions, I feel all women of color don't get told enough that they're queens, like by each other. You know what I mean? I mean, of course you get them creepy old men like, hey queen, you know, some hotep dude like trying to come at you.
Right. But what did you say? Some hotep?
Hotep. Like,
is that a Vegas slang?
No, that's a whole term. So a hotep is them instant dudes with the shea butter lotion that be like, those dudes that be wearing the dashikis and they be like.
I've never heard of that before.
I was watching Dear White People and I learned what that term was, and I was like, oh, that makes sense. Those are those guys. I'd be like, the ones that be standing outside, the white devil and those guys.
Okay, fair.
So
they believe what they believe.
Everyone's believe what they believe, but you ain't gonna push me.
Okay.
But so I feel we don't celebrate each other as women enough. There's so much competition between us. There's always only one spot in each job for somebody like us, or they pitting us against each other, you know, or just, hey, I see you, you're shining, congratulations. I may not be at that point in my life, but I know I will be there soon.
Right.
Something like that. I wanted more of a community. So that's why I encourage the personal essays. I encourage the moments of struggle. I encourage interviews where people are uplifting. Like some of the dopest interviews I had was with DJ Sage. She's a really cool DJ out here in New York. She talks about her rise and success. Unique Chapman, she's really dope. She runs the Dear Black Girl podcast and she works with Hot 97. Other people on the team, like Jaleesa McDowell, she's a PR. You know, she has her own PR firm and she's like shining and putting light on other things happening. There's just a lot of different things that I feel we should be talking about. We should be congratulating each other on. So that's why I wanted to create this space and this website for women. You know, it's not to be like, oh, like gossip sites. And don't get me wrong, I read gossip sites all the time. But I just wanted something where everybody can be like, all right, who's really out here checking for me? Because sometimes we may be doing good, but if we don't hear validation, we don't feel it, you know? And I know that because personally I do that. I'll be like, with my parents, sometimes they don't know what the heck I be doing. And then if I don't feel validated by them, sometimes I will like get a little sad, like, Mom, you know, I did this. Okay, cool. That's what you're supposed to do. But sometimes
I hate when they say that.
Yes, it is.
Just give me a hug. Okay?
Just give me a hug. Tell me you love me. Tell me I'm doing great. Or I'm feeling sad. Tell me to keep going. Don't tell me I'm making it up in my head. Like, you know, I wanted to create a space where we can sit there and say, like, you're not alone. You're feeling down? I'm down too. Let's work out of this depression together. You feel like you don't belong, but you do belong. You feel like you don't fit in, but you do fit in. You know, we all have the same oppression when it comes to society. Like my Black, brown, Middle Eastern, Indian sisters, like we all like sharing something. We're all trying to be great. That's what, you know.
I like that. We're all trying to be great. And that's really what you have to remember at the end of the day. Like, I'm great and I'm going to be great and I'm doing great things. That's the goal of just being great. If you're not trying to be, let me not say that, but be great because you're great already.
Yeah.
So with these t-shirts that you guys have that I keep stressing about how controversial they are. Have you had any controversial moments that it's kind of like due to this t-shirt it sparked this huge controversial conversation?
So we have the Make America Great Again hat, which it's Make America Hate Again, but it looks like Make America Great Again. So people are wearing it and a lot of people are getting bashed for it because, again, you're looking at this hat and you think it's like the brand identity, the color scheme is the same, so you're thinking, oh my God, they're promoting Trump. And it's like, no, you're not. Read the hat, read it. You know, sometimes you fall and you find people who aren't reading everything exactly, their visuals, and they're looking at that.
That happens a lot though.
That happens a lot.
It's the same thing how people take things out of context.
Exactly, and that's what happened there. The Blue Lives Murder. We've had somebody who was very talented, I believe Epiphany, and she wore the shirt and Afropunk, right? And she wore it in front of a bunch of cops. And she took a picture, very bold. I would be scared out my life to do that, especially the climate we're in right now with police brutality, or we've always been in. So she did that, and she got a whole Yahoo article posted about it and different things. So that's something that sparked so much interest, and we probably didn't even know that would like go that far, you know?
Beautiful.
We put it in people's hands and they do what they feel they should do with it. So we're like the providers of the message and they're like the carriers. So
what has been some of the biggest struggles you guys have faced as far as growing the brand and getting people to notice, hey, these are stuff that we have to talk about?
I believe since the company started in 2016, and you know, growing the brand really didn't hit too many into the Believe women. And this started literally like kind of like last year. So that was something last year when Scotty Beam.
It's a dope, comfortable shirt. That's
why. It's really comfy. Scotty Beam wore it because I think she was doing wear something from a Black vendor every day in February for Black History Month, and a lot of people hit up the brand after that, and she put that spotlight on the brand as well.
Beautiful.
So we have
shout out Scotty Beam. Beautiful.
Lena Waithe, Estelle, other really great women have been wearing it as well. So, you know, just pushing for the brand, you know, again, like you have people who see it, they follow with the message, and then they want to sit there and say, how do I be a part of that? So again, it didn't really kick off to like the Believe Women, and then the Blue Lives Matter, Power Girl hats, and everything else is starting to pick up for a lot of people.
Any controversial topics came out of these?
Yeah, that we're a hate, like that we hate the police, everything like that.
Oh, really?
Like we're a hate company.
So it kind of turned back on you guys.
Yeah, you know, there's always trolls on the internet who take everything out of context, like we were saying with the Make America hating in hats. When you're doing something good and you're putting yourself out there, you're getting a spotlight, there's always gonna people trying to like dim it.
Coming from Queen Sessions to now going to America Hates Us, and especially with this movement, the Women Believe movement and all of that stuff. Well, how do you intertwine the two together?
So with the Queen Sessions, that's my separate brand, but I'm more than...
You still do it? How often do you do it?
Well, we are reconstruction right now because I'm trying to sit there and rebrand it, rethink of ways to push these personal essays out. You know, you could write all the dopest content in the world, but if nobody's reading it, you kind of feel like, all right, I'm letting them down, because we have people reading it, we have people going with it, and now it's the time to sit at the writer's table and say, hey guys, let's structure it now.
Right.
We got it out there, it's doing great, let's sit down and structure it the way that a business should be. And me still being a fairly new like business owner, in a sense this is your business, you know, it's a media site. You're trying to figure it out too, because this is a trial and error. I've written for DJ Nuff or Funk Flex, or had my own fashion blog in college, or Elite Daily and Afropunk, but those were somebody else's. You know, I never had something where I was like, yo, this is my own media business, this is my own thing I want to do, footprint. So you're just sitting back and you're structuring it. And why I love the brand is because they're so supportive with it. You know what I mean? They found me through my blog. They loved it. They enjoyed it. They sat there and said, let's intertwine the two, because the Queen Sessions and Believe Women and anything else America Hates Us, it's going to be the same thing. You know, we're going to help pivot you to your success. Again, that's
it's amazing that they actually want to do that, because some people don't want you to actually, because it distracts you from their movement.
It's like, it's a mentorship. You're learning, you're growing. You know what I mean? And you're bringing your skills to the table. Like, I love to write about different things and events happening in society. And I love writing about women. I love pushing my women forward, but I also don't want to limit myself. So this also gives me opportunity to write about other things like economic depression, what's going on with the global warming climate, what's going on here, what's going on with other conversations we're not talking about, you know? So
and there are a lot of conversations. It's like, on my ride over here, I took my Uber, and my driver was a female, and she was just telling me about a situation that she's going through. And this situation is crazy because women go through this. We were just having a regular conversation, and it led up to this, and she just happened to feel comfortable to tell me about the situation. I don't know if God made her tell me, because it was like an epiphany to me. A lot of women are in situations where, I'm talking about from relationships in all types of levels, from friends to family to intimate relationship with the person that you're with, where you are in a place where you're doing things where you're forced and you don't realize you're forcing it. And she was basically explaining that to me, which led to some other things that's happening, which it put her in a place right now where she's so stressed to the point where she feels she's mentally getting broken down. And these are issues that women people don't talk about.
No.
That I feel like you guys talk about. Because at that event as well, where I first met you, the woman that spoke, and as soon as she spoke, the room got silent. Because she revealed at the event that she was going through something. She was going through something to the point where she was contemplating committing suicide. And everybody got silent because it was kind of like, whoa. Because this is something that people don't talk about, and when you hear it, you don't know how to react. You don't know how to deal with it. And I feel like you guys give people that platform to feel okay to talk about these things. So what I'm trying to get to, I brought up this story. At that event, you also have a lot of heavy hitters in that room. People that are doing things and that are progressing and making moves.
We had a few lawyers, a few doctors, a few of everything.
How did you guys make those connections? Especially from the panels. The audience is like a diverse group of people. I met a few people where I'm like, oh, interesting.
So I have truly been blessed. Honestly, I feel like I've truly been blessed to where I've been put in positions where you meet someone and you're vibing, and I don't know if it's just because like I got a little bit of my mother in me, where you treat everybody the same. You treat everybody equal. You know, no matter if you a janitor or you a lawyer, you're gonna be getting the same treatment from me. And I've been having conversations with people, and they'll be like, well, you know, I'm just working on this show. And I'm like, okay, cool, good for you. And then you go home and find out, oh my God, she working on this show about Malcolm X or something like that. So Soul, who is, Door, who is one of the writers, and she's an executive producer, I met her through a writers group.
Oh, wow.
Just a regular free writing group. I wanted to go enhance my skills. We had a dope conversation. She loved what I was doing with the Queen Session. She told me that she loves it because she sees nothing else like it out there. I made that connection with her. Mia Bell, I've known her from when I was interning with Hot 97, but Tarek and all of them reached out because she also saw with the Scotty Beam shirt, and then she loved the brand from there on too. So Linda Thatch, who owns East Skips, or the restaurant, she and Tarek had created a friendship because he used to always go there.
Beautiful. And
so just meeting these women, reaching out, creating conversations, you know, respecting their grind, respecting their hustle, and wanting to give them a platform. You'd be surprised. We know a lot of people that are doing great things. We may never know it because we never take time to hear their story.
That is so true. That there's so much truth to that statement right there. It's kind of like speechless. You have nothing to say to that.
Yeah.
So what should we expect from America Hates Us in 2018?
What you should expect from the brand is just more exposure, more really dope people pushing the message. We're gonna launch the media portion of the site, so expect dope articles, dope interviews, such as this one, and more projects and panels and events that are gonna be happening. We're gonna be planning so much for 2019. Tarek, one of the founders of the brand, he's in Colombia right now, so he's gonna be coming back December. So best believe there's gonna be a party. And so we're gonna have fun. We're gonna keep doing what we're doing and pushing out the message.
Well, you have just heard it from Miss Autumn Myers herself, the media correspondent of America Hates Us. If they want to check out the brand, find out anything about America Hates Us, where can they find you?
So find us on Instagram at America Hates Us, and then you can find us online and purchase one of these dope tees, and make sure your profits go back to a really dope charity organization such as Planned Parenthood at americahatesus.com. And for any articles or interviews and stuff, check out the blog portion of America Hates Us.
So again, you've heard it. You know where to find them. My name is Andrea of Makadrez.com. I just sat with Autumn Myers, representing the America Hates Us brand. Definitely look out every Tuesday for new episodes, and we will speak to you soon.